Hey everyone, welcome to Models and Agents, episode 57. It's May 23rd, 2026. Your daily briefing on the AI models and agents that are changing everything. And no, not those kinds of models and agents. Let's get into it. OpenAI just added goal mode and screen-aware context to Codex, letting agents work autonomously for hours on real tasks. OpenAI rolled out goal mode, Appshots, and advanced annotation in Codex across App, IDE, and CLI. Anthropic reported finding over 10,000 high-severity vulnerabilities through Project Glasswing using Claude models. Multiple new open-source releases focus on faster inference and smaller footprints for consumer hardware. OpenAI announced goal mode, Appshots for screen context, and advanced annotation capabilities for Codex. Goal mode lets users set objectives that the system pursues for hours or days with reduced intervention, available in the App, IDE extension, and CLI. Appshots pull live screen content directly into the agent session, while the annotation mode supports direct visual feedback on web pages. These updates shift Codex from reactive chat toward longer-running, context-rich agent workflows. Builders working on coding automation or multi-step development tasks should test the new modes this week to see how hands-off execution performs on their projects. Watch for further agentic refinements as OpenAI solicits user suggestions for next week's updates. Supralabs released Supra 50M, a 50 million parameter Llama-style model, trained from scratch on 20 billion tokens of fineweb_edu data. It reports 76.3% on Blimp, 77.2% on SciQ, and 52.2% on ARC-Easy despite its size. Both base and instruct versions are available on Hugging Face with a custom BPE tokenizer. The release kicks off Supralabs' scaling roadmap that includes 124 million and 350 million variants. Try the instruct version for lightweight educational or reasoning tasks where larger models are overkill. Meituan open-sourced Longcat Video Avatar 1.5, an audio-driven human video generation framework built on the Longcat video base. It adds Whisper large audio encoding, supports AT2V, ATI2V, and video continuation, and achieves 8-step inference via DMD2 distillation. The model handles realistic and animated styles plus multi-person scenes while maintaining identity consistency. Weights are MIT licensed, tested for avatar or lip-sync video projects that need production stability without heavy fine-tuning. A new uncensored fine-tune of Gemma 4 to 26B A4B it was released with KLD of 0.0152 and only 12 refusals out of 100 test cases. Both Safe Tensors and GGUF versions are available, positioned as a faster, lower VRAM alternative to the 31 billion Mero variant. The author notes the 31 billion remains stronger overall, but acknowledges demand for the smaller size. Download from LLMFan 46 on Hugging Face if you need reduced refusal behavior on the 26 billion A4B base. A pure Q4KM GGUF of Q13.6 to 27B fits in 15.1 to 15.4 gigabytes VRAM and delivers 40 tokens per second generation on an RTX 5060 Ti when using MTP. The non-MTP version reaches higher prompt processing speeds. Perplexity stays within 0.17 of BF16. Builders targeting consumer 16GB cards can now run this model locally with the latest llama.cpp and the linked pure quant files. BLlama 0.2.0 introduces DFlash for major speedups on single RTX 3090 hardware, reaching 163.9 tokens per second median on Qwen 3.627 billion at 4.4 times baseline. It also hits 177.8 tokens per second on Gemma 431 billion at 4.93 times baseline. Prompt processing remains near baseline while acceptance rates stay usable. The update adds full Gemma 431 billion vision support and stricter draft validation. Try the quick start configs if you want speculative decoding gains without changing your target model. Spice is a new open source runtime that sits above execution agents and handles perception, simulation, structured decision making, and reflection before dispatching tasks. It targets the gap where current agents excel at execution but lack context-aware prioritization. The GitHub repo includes a core loop diagram and supports delegation to tools like Claude Code or Codex. Fork the repository to experiment with adding an explicit decision layer to your agent stacks. A step-by-step guide shows how to install and run GBrain v0.38.2.0. The Markdown-first knowledge graph originally built by Gary Tan for his own OpenClaw and Hermes deployments. It wires itself via regex inference rather than LLM calls, and connects to Claude Code through MCP. The tutorial covers building a Brain repo and running hybrid search in about 20 minutes. Clone the repo and follow the terminal commands if you need persistent memory across agent sessions. A user achieved 30 plus tokens per second with 262,000 context on an 8 GB 3070 Ti using Q4K XL quants of the 35 billion A3B MoE model. Only about 3.5 billion active parameters need to stay in VRAM. Linux Server yielded a 25% boost over Windows 11 due to lower memory overhead. The detailed Llama server configs and KV cache settings are worth copying if you run MoE models on limited hardware. Llama.cpp added programmatic dependent launch support for Blackwell GPUs with compute capability greater than or equal to 90. Enabling it via the DGGML CUDA PDL equals ON build flag delivered 5 to 9% token generation gains with negligible prefill impact. The feature is off by default. Builders on RTX 50 series cards should rebuild with the flag to capture the free inference boost. ByteShape CPU 5 Quant at 18.3 GB ran 30% faster on token generation than Unsloth UDIQ4 XS, while partially offloaded on a 6 GB laptop GPU. Prompt processing was slightly slower. The author notes the need for independent quality comparisons. Test the linked GGUF if you prioritize generation speed on low VRAM laptops. Okay, let's pop the hood on pure quantization. Everyone talks about quantization as a simple, make it smaller knob. In practice, it is a set of deliberate trade-offs between bit width, calibration data, and hardware mapping that determine whether a model stays usable. Pure quantization methods skip iMatrix calibration and instead apply uniform or near uniform scaling across weights, which reduces pre-processing time and sometimes improves throughput on CPUs during offload. The cost appears in slightly higher perplexity, typically 0.05 to 0.17 above eMatrix equivalents on the same model size. For MoE architectures, the savings compound because only active experts are loaded, dropping from 4.5 bits per weight to 4.22 bits per weight can free enough VRAM to keep an extra expert resident and raise cache hit rates. The practical decision rule is straightforward. Use pure quants when generation speed on partial offload matters more than squeezing every last point of benchmark quality. And fall back to iMatrix when you have the calibration budget and need maximum fidelity on long context tasks. Test OpenAI Codex goal mode on a multi-hour refactoring task to see how the hands-off execution performs compared with manual prompting. Run the new QN3.6 to 27B pure Q4KM GGUF on any 16 GB card and compare token generation against your current 7 billion to 13 billion daily driver. Install bllama v0.2.0 with dflash on a 3090 and benchmark it against plain llama.cpp on the same Twin 27 billion or Gemma 31 billion target. Follow the GBrain tutorial to add a self-wiring markdown memory layer to an existing Claude Code or Codex workflow. Try the Longcat cvideo/avatar 1.5 demo on a short audio-driven avatar clip to evaluate the new Whisper Large lip sync quality. Superlabs plans to release 124 million and 350 million models, continuing the current scaling series. Further Codex refinements are expected after OpenAI collects user suggestions this week. More iklama.cpp compatible quants for 16GB cards are likely as the project gains adoption. Additional D-Flash style speculative decoding implementations may appear for other inference engines. Tomorrow, keep an eye on the next round of user-driven Codex updates and the first Superlabs 124 million release. That wraps up today's AI briefing. Share this with a developer or builder who wants to stay current. Subscribe wherever you listen. See you tomorrow. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.